Hi everybody, it's me, Willow, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a little bit since my last video. I have been quite busy the last week and a half. I got a new job and I've just been busy with my schedule, so going to see some new movies and scheduling time to film a video has just been difficult. So I wanted to sit down and make sure I get in my acting category predictions for November's awards season. So I am really looking forward to going through Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, and Best Supporting Actor. It's been about a month since my last acting category predictions video. So along with my best picture video that I posted about a week ago, over a week ago. I'll put that in the description box for you guys in case you missed it, but I wanted to update it, keep it updated each month. That's my goal. So let's dive into Best Actress. Why don't we? I still have Jessie Buckley in first. I feel like this isn't a surprise. Most people have her on lock 100%, and I really do think it's just the strongest possibility that she's going to be taking home that Oscar in March. And I don't know what else can kind of push her out. Like, I do love all of these performances, and I really love Amanda Seyfried in The Testament of Anne Lee. That's why I'm just so hard trying to campaign her, even though, like, I'm feeling a little iffy about her role right now in the season, but Jessie Buckley's performance is just so visceral and emotional. I think a lot of people are going to grasp onto the role once they get to see it in 2 weeks. It's going to come out wide for everybody. So I'm excited for more critics and the wide audience to be able to start talking about Hamnet and Jessie Buckley, and we'll get an even stronger idea of where she is leaning in this award season. Is she that 100% lock, or is somebody else going to sweep out underneath her maybe? But I definitely think she is really strong player, so I have her still at number one. I have Renata Reinsve still at number two, holding strong. I really do think she has a strong narrative with sentimental value and having Neon behind her. She has been at everything, like promoting herself, the role, and the film, and the rest of the cast. Like, I've been seeing Elle and Inga and Stellan, everybody, Yoham. So I really do think this has a really strong campaign behind it. And Renata just got on the cover of Elle magazine. So I think holding number two is really strong. And again, I feel like maybe we could move her around just a little bit, but I think she's holding definitely strong in the top five, and I don't think we're going to move her out. In number three, like I said, I am still campaigning very hard for Amanda Seyfried. I just loved her when I got to see the film at TIFF, and I think it's such a strong and visceral performance again, similar to Jessie Buckley, and I love like the singing and the dancing that she gets to do as well. So I've just followed her for years, and getting to see her evolve as an actress is a beautiful sight. And the various musical performances she's done in the past compared to this one, I just think she's a terrific performer, and I really would like to see her get that Oscar nomination. So I'm holding her there. The trailer did come out, and people had pretty good reactions to the trailer. So we have to wait and see till like December when it comes out. But I feel like we'll have like good crowds going to see it. And again, like I I feel like it can have a similar trajectory as The Zone of Interest, and it is a British film, so does that mean it can technically compete as like an international film in certain categories and competitions? So I feel like this does have like a strong backing, but right now I'm just feeling iffy because there are a lot of naysayers about this film, and I know it's not for everybody, but I just do think it's beautiful and I really do want to see her rewarded. So Amanda Seyfried is still number three. This has been my number three for quite a while. So holding this strong. What's changed here is I've moved Cynthia Erivo up one into number four. I've had her at number five, but I feel like with Wicked for Good coming out this weekend, we're gonna get a bit more of a stronger reaction. We'll have a better idea if she is still this strong leading lady compared to last year. So have her at number four just because I do feel pretty confident about her. She is going for her EGOT. She just needs her Oscar to complete that. And I think she does have a great narrative and she's very compassionate and works perfectly in interviews with Ariana by her side. I feel like they have a great chemistry. So I'm excited to see their journey completed in Wicked for Good. So yeah, I'm just kind of holding out to see exactly where she leans. So, yeah, keeping her safe at number four for right now. I feel like I could move her down more, could move her up. We're just gonna wait and see. At number five, this is a little bit new. I have Rose Byrne. I've always kind of had her teetering on the edge at like six or seven. Since I've seen her in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You at TIFF. I just felt very strong again that she would be within the top five, very strong possibilities. And with her gaining the Gotham nomination, I do think this shows that the critics have been watching her performance since January through February, all the way now down to November at all the festivals. So I have her in here. I feel like I could possibly swap her out. I did have Emma Stone in here last month in between Cynthia and Amanda, and now I've moved Emma out to number six. And I love Emma in Begonia. It's such a fantastic film, but I'm just a little worried that some people aren't going to go all the way for it. But again, like I feel like maybe I'm just a little hesitant because Rose did get the Gotham nominations and Begonia wasn't recognized a whole lot during the Gotham Awards. So I feel like there's a lot of strong actress possibilities to be nominated, and I really do like the majority of them. I feel like they're all strong and they all stand out, and all of these actresses have been working for quite some time, and these are some of their most poignant performances. So that's why I'm not sure about Emma because I really do love the performance and I think she is an Academy darling, and I feel like at this point she could just get nominated for like, all of her fantastic performances. They don't have to kind of pick and choose because they know that they like her. But then again, because she has two Oscars, I feel like maybe they could pick somebody else to get in there, like Rose Byrne. So I don't know. I also have Jennifer Lawrence at number seven. I saw Die My Love. I think she's so fantastic in it. But again, similar to Begonia, I feel like the film may not work entirely for a lot of audiences, but this has been getting a really good campaign on social media. I've been seeing Die My Love being advertised all the time on social media in various different ways. And I feel like I've heard a lot of fantastic praise for Jennifer Lawrence's performance in the film. So I feel like she does have a good possibility at maybe some of the guilds or Golden Globes. But they do like her at the Oscars, the Academy, though it has kind of changed and she hasn't been in an Academy film for quite some time. But I do think it's a possibility that Jennifer Lawrence could squeeze her way in there. At number 8, I have Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another. I'm just not 100% sure on her just because she is so young. I do think it's more of a supporting performance as it's kind of an ensemble film, but she has been getting lots of good campaigning with the film as a whole, and a lot of people are hoping they will possibly break like the records for the amount of acting nominations that the film can get. So I do think she's in the top 10. I don't think she's quite in the top 5 just yet, just because I feel like there are some, seniority actresses above her. So we will see, but I do think it's a strong performance, and I feel like closer to March, she can move her way up. I have Kate Hudson in number 9 for Song Sung Blue. I've not seen this film yet, it hasn't come out, haven't had an opportunity to see it, but some people have seen it like AFI and a couple other film festivals, and she's been getting a lot of good praise for the performance. She is singing, she has like an accent, some crazy costumes, so I would be interested to see her putting it all out there with Hugh Jackman. So I'm excited for the film. I do like Neil Diamond's songs, so I'm intrigued to see this kind of like artistic performance because they are like a tribute band. So maybe some people will be inspired by this role. At number 10, I have Julia Roberts for After the Hunt. I feel like at some other awards she could pick up some precursor nominations. I don't really think she's going to win anything, but I really did love her in After the Hunt. I loved that film from Luca. You can check out my review if you're interested, but I feel like a lot of people did not vibe with that film. It's got some pretty negative feedback and it's kind of fallen down during the awards season, but she is Julia Roberts and I do think she delivers some great monologues in that film, and I really do love this more like scummy type of characters that she gets to play, which is very different from some of the other roles that she's well known for. So I'm putting her there in my top 10. And just out of the top 10, I have Tessa Thompson for Hedda. Loved that film. I thought she was so good in it. They are campaigning, so I feel like maybe she could move up in the rankings possibly as the season goes. I have Sydney Sweeney for Christy. Honestly, I feel like that could possibly move down even further just because that film flopped at the box office. It's one of the worst box office openings ever, and people just are not giving her any grace after her GQ interview, and it's just devastating to me because I really did like the film Christy, and I think Christy Martin deserves better than what Sydney Sweeney is giving for it. So yeah, it's kind of disappointing that this is the trajectory for that film, but I think there are a lot of other deserving actresses in this race. So I'm happy to see maybe Sydney Sweeney is moving out of the way so those other actresses can shine. And then I have like Jodie Foster for Private Life, Laura Dern for Is This Thing On, June Squid for Eleanor the Great, Ava Victor for Sorry Baby, and Rebecca Ferguson for A House of Dynamite. I think maybe from Sydney Sweeney to Rebecca, those guys are not super strong, but I feel like we could see them with some Critics' Choice, Golden Globes. There always is a possibility to see them at some precursors, but I feel from Tessa Thompson upwards, my top 11, I'm feeling really strong about them for Best Actress. Alrighty, for Best Actor, Timothée Chalamet is staying in first place for Marty Supreme. They have been ramping up the campaigning and press for the film. Timothée Chalamet has been heard saying he wants to say Marty Supreme, Christmas Day, Marty Supreme, Christmas Day, Marty Supreme, Christmas Day. And I'm looking forward to seeing Marty Supreme Christmas Day. I may sneak out and go see it in the evening, honestly, on Christmas Day, because it'd probably be a highlight for me. And I just feel like it's having a really strong campaign. I feel like maybe that will backfire and people won't like his tenacity because people are already kind of commenting some things about this bold um, trajectory that he's going with Marty Supreme, but I'm keeping him there. I feel like he does have a lot of goodwill from last year's race, so keeping him at number one. I have Leo DiCaprio in number two for One Battle After Another. I feel like there's always a strong I feel like there's always a strong chance that he could sneak and take number one and take that Oscar home once again, his second Oscar. And I think this would be a really deserving role. I love him in this film. I think this is a big departure from some of the other stuff he's done in the last like 15 years. And I like to see him in this more comedic role, a father figure, something he really hasn't done before. So I really do love Leo in the film, and I would be happy if he takes the Oscar home. I wouldn't be upset if he gets his second Oscar in March. In third place, I have Wagger Mora for The Secret Agent. I'm still yet to see this, but he's been getting lots of good critical buzz. Vanity Fair put him as their number one for predicting at the beginning of November. So I do think a lot of the critics are favoring him. He does have good press from Civil War last year, and the Brazilian audience is always very passionate and loves supporting what comes out from their country, their actors, their movies. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him maybe take home the Golden Globe Award, and then that really projects him forward into the Oscar race. But I'm keeping it at number three, kind of like Amanda Seyfried, where I'm hearing, like, I'm very passionate about Amanda Seyfried, and I feel like she can get the votes and love and the passion. So I'm kind of keeping her in the middle. And I think Wagamora is on a very similar path. So I'm excited to see The Secret Agent. I'm hoping it will come out soon near me. I just have not seen it. I don't know if it's gone out wide here in Canada yet, but I've not seen it play yet. But I know a lot of other people have been getting the chance to see it. So I'm jealous because I really do want to give it a watch. And like in Best Actress, I've decided to keep Jesse Plemons here at number four for Begonia, just because he's beginning, I feel like, the most praise. Just a lot of people have been pointing him out as this is some of his best work of his career. I'd have to agree with that. He is, I feel like Emma and him are kind of duo leads, but he does kind of start the film out, narrates it throughout. It's from his perspective. We're trying to understand where Teddy's coming from and why his past has led him to this moment with Michelle and his cousin. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him on nomination morning up there in the top five. I feel like he's been working really hard towards this moment, and I'd be really happy if he was in there. And here at number five, I'm keeping Michael B. Jordan in there for Sinners. I really am impressed by him doing this double role as the twins, Stack and Smokes. So I don't know, like I really don't want to give up on Sinners. It's still my favorite film of the year. There are lots of other films that are getting really close to my favorite film of the year, but Sinners, since April, has been holding strong as my favorite film, and I want to see the cast, the crew, be rewarded for this cinematic feat. So I really do hope Michael B. Jordan gets his flowers, and he's been working a long time with Ryan Coogler, and I love to see how he's been able to develop all these different roles with Ryan. Like all of them are very different when you look at them, and seeing how Michael has been able to evolve. Like I would be so proud of him if he gets that Oscar nomination. I do think we'll see him at a lot of precursors, but people have been doubting him for the Oscars, and I'm not going to doubt him. I'm keeping him in my top five. For number six, I have Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon. I'm still yet to see this film, but I've heard lots of positive things about him. So I'm just keeping him there tentatively. I feel like I could move him forward or backwards, but I feel like since it's come out, I haven't heard more positive praise. It's kind of died down since it first came out, so we will see. I'm excited to see it. I do think it'll be really interesting, a fun ensemble as well. So yeah, I'm excited about it. At number seven, I have Lee Bong Hung. Please tell me if I'm mispronouncing that. I did look it up, and I just think my accent is very poor with the pronunciation, so I'm very sorry. But I got to see No Other Choice at the beginning of November at the Forest City Film Festival, and I thought he was stellar in that film. And I honestly, it would put him in my top five, I think, personally. I just think he was so perfect in the role, and it was a bit comedic, dramatic, and serious, and he would really get scary at moments too. So I think this is such an elevated role. I just have not been seeing No Other Choice promoted as much compared to sentimental value, and it was just an accident. But I do think that's changing because I have been seeing the cast like quite a bit more recently, going around to some different screenings. So I do think Neon's trying to gear up their promotion as the film's coming out at Christmas time, as well as Marty Supreme. So it's going to be quite a Christmas season with all these movies dropping, because there are quite a couple others like Ann Lee and a couple other ones. So it's going to be a crazy Christmas time, honestly. But I'm really excited for everybody to get to see Lee Bung Hung, because he was just such a leading man in that film, and you really get to see this character just go to the deepest and darkest places that he could go to try and protect his legacy and his family and give them this life that he thinks that they all deserve. So I really do hope this role starts to push up in the rankings, because I think he is a fantastic actor and he's been in the biz for such a long time. So it'd be amazing to see him, nominated and get rewarded in this way. I've got George Clooney for Jay Kelly at number eight. This film has released limitedly this week, and I'm have my fingers crossed I can try and go see it, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it work with my schedule, so I might miss it and just have to see it on Netflix. But I really wanted to see it in 35 millimeter at TIFF, so I'm really hoping I'll be able to make my way there. But I still have been hearing kind of middle of the ground praise for him. Some people really do like him in the role. Some people think they're just him playing himself. So I'm waiting to hold my judgment, because I've heard people I trust really do like the film. And similar with Julia Roberts, I really do love her in the film, and I do love that film surrounding it. But maybe the general audience seems to not click with it. And I feel like this could be similar with Jay Kelly. I feel like I'm going to enjoy it quite a bit, and I'm going to like George Clooney in the film. So I'm excited for it, and that's why I have him still in my top 10. But we'll see what happens with him as the awards season keeps going. After seeing Train Dreams, I now feel like Taron Egerton has a really strong chance at this race. I think he's fantastic, and I'm just surprised more people aren't speaking his name in this race. And I guess maybe Train Dreams is the little film that could, and I hope it is. Netflix hasn't really been promoting it, and they have so many other films on their plate that they are promoting way more than Train Dreams. But I feel like this one could start to garner some good respect with the critics and the guilds. And I really do hope to see Taron Egerton pick up some positive feedback for Train Dreams once more people get to see it when it goes on Netflix. And then basically just for who he is, I still have Daniel Day-Lewis, Anemone for my top 10. I feel like he could probably get pushed out, but I'm just having him there safe. And I have like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Jeremy Allen White, Brendan Fraser, Will Arnett, Oscar Isaac, Paul Mescal, Willem Dafoe, and Denzel Washington are still some other nominations in my top 20, but those are more like, I don't know. The only other ones are maybe like like Dwayne and Jeremy, like even those two, like I feel like they really have been pushed out of the race at this point, but tentatively I still want to keep them at some semblance of this race. I'm not kicked them out just yet. I have kicked some people out of the race and I've smallened my list, or I've shortened my list. I did have like some other actors in there and I've just decided, you know what, they have no chances of getting nominated pretty much anywhere. So I've just axed them off my list and I'm hoping as the season goes, there'll be a couple more people I can axe off my list and just keep it, shortening it as the season goes. So, yeah, I'm feeling really good for my top 10 for sure, but then maybe 11, 12 is kind of iffy just because they had a strong narrative at the beginning of the season. But, now that we're into the fall, getting closer to winter, I don't see their narrative happening anymore. But I just kind of keep her at the back of my mind, you know? So, yeah, I'm feeling really strong about my top 5 and yeah, I do think Lee and Taryn are my personal favorites along with Michael and Jesse. So those are my personal favorites. I haven't seen Marty Supreme either, so I'm not sure about Timothy. But again, I think this is also a really strong race for best leading actor. Alrighty, Best Supporting Actress is the category I'm excited to talk about because I feel like this is the most change up from last month. I have taken Ariana out of first place and I've pushed her into third. Similar with Cynthia, I feel like she does have a really strong narrative and I feel like a lot of people are really going to love her performance. People have been saying maybe more Ariana for this film compared to Cynthia. So I'm excited to see Wicked for Good come out and hear more about people's reactions to Ariana. But right now, in first place, I've moved Elle Fanning for sentimental value up there. I feel like from last year with The Complete Unknown and that snub, I really think she's going to get in for a lot of precursors, and I really do respect her performance in the film. I feel like she's really grown as an actress as well, been in the industry since a child, so I'm excited to see her take this mature role on and get to continue campaigning it, and I hope everybody sees her for the star that she is and she does get this nomination. I don't know if she will take the win home, but I do think she has a stronger possibility of taking the win home at this point than Ariana. Wicked people don't come for me, so that's why I have her there right now. I have Amy Madigan in second place. I was holding out for her for so long, and I finally put her in because she did a interview with the Hollywood Reporter and it was all over their Instagram and it was blasted everywhere. So she's finally started her campaign and I think it's at the perfect timing and I feel like everybody's been saying Amy Madigan, she's got to get in there for Aunt Gladys and I feel like you know what? This narrative is actually gaining some interest, and I think she does have a campaign behind her. And I think if she continues with these one off interviews, and maybe if some of the rest of the cast comes out and they try to start campaigning for casting as well, this could be a great 1-2 punch. And maybe they could get original screenplay as well as a possibility. Editing, I feel like there's lots of possibilities for weapons, and Amy Madigan is just, she's shooting for that nomination in Best Supporting Actress, and I love just how this role has come about, and the possibilities that this could lead to. And like I said, I have Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good at number 3. I do think Glinda is going to be a terrific role for her to finish out in the second film. So I'm excited to see what the critics and general audience response to it as it goes wide this weekend. And I'm excited to give it a watch. I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one. I feel like I have a lot of preconceived perceptions as I am a musical theater kid who grew up loving the show Wicked. So I did love certain parts of it, but I did have a lot of criticisms about the film. So So I'm excited for part two, and I hope John M. Chu is able to hear some of the criticisms, and maybe I'll have a little bit more of an elevated experience, and I'll get just as emotional as I did watching the film the first time for part two. So yeah, I'm still really excited, and I think she has a really strong chance of getting nominated in that top five. It's just, what end is she going to land on is my question right now. So that's why I have her in the middle. I have Inga Elsa Dorte Lisa. Totally butchered her pronunciation of her name, so I'm very sorry, but she was my favorite part of Sentimental Value besides Stellan Skarsgård, so I'll be very disappointed if I don't get to see her in some nominations for Best Supporting Actress. I think her role is just really humbling and grounding, and I think her sister and her father have their heads in the clouds, and she is just, a mother that's trying to do what's best for her child, and she's putting her own personal thoughts aside, unlike her sister and her father. So I think it's very interesting to see, the connection that she had with her father and how it got kind of, maybe taken away a little bit, how her sister ended up having more similarities with her father. So I just think it's such a well acted film, and I'll be devastated if she doesn't get a nomination. So I'm keeping her in there, and I want to see her on nomination morning. And then to finish up my top five, I have Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. I do think this film is going to have a strong chance of getting lots of nominations in the acting categories, and I do think this is a traditional supporting role. Like some people have been saying, oh, well, she's only in the first 30 minutes of the film, but that sets off the whole trajectory of the rest of the film. Her soul is featured throughout the rest of the 2 hours, and basically her whole initiative drives her daughter in the film and her husband. So I do think we will see her get some nominations, precursors, and she did her Academy talk with the rest of the One Battle After Another cast, and she was just so passionate when she was talking about her character, and people really did reciprocate with a lot of auditory reaction and applause. So I think people are really liking this supporting role. And yeah, I really do hope to see her in that top five. Outside of my top five, I have Odessa Azion for Marty Supreme. I have Regina Hall for One Battle After Another. I have Wumi Masako for Sinners. She got that Gotham nomination, so I've moved her quite up in my rankings. I have Gwyneth Paltrow for Marty Supreme. I have Emily Watson for Hamnet. I've got Thomasin McKenzie, Sissy Spacek. I've got Rebecca Ferguson in here again as a supporting option instead of a lead option. And Iowa Debris, Mia Goth, Emily Blunt, Laura Dern, Glenn Close. I feel like this category needs to be axed more. Honestly, I feel like after Sissy Spacek, I feel like I could cut the majority of the rest of those supporting performances. I don't think they have much of a strong chance, but again, I feel like they have been in the play at the beginning of the narrative for the awards season, so I didn't want to just get rid of them, but I do think from 12 upwards is much stronger, and I would still say Sissy and Thomasin still have a good chance, unlike in Best Actress and Best Actor. I wasn't 100% sure about 11 and 12 spots, but in this one, I feel like they still have a possibility of moving up in the rankings and maybe even getting in the top five. I really did like Thomasin McKenzie in the film, and I think Sissy Spacek had a really good role in Die My Love as well. Maybe it was a little bit more limited, but it was a supporting role nonetheless. So, yes, this is my supporting actress nominations. I feel really good about Elle and Amy and Ariana, Inga, and the lovely Tiana. So like I feel like maybe we can make a couple changes here and there, but I feel like a lot of these ladies are a lock. Okay, let's wrap this video up with the final category of supporting actor. I still have Mr. Stellan Skarsgård in first. I did move Sean Penn out from first. I think I had him in first in October, but I just am feeling a little bit stronger towards Stellan. I feel like he has the narrative career path. He's been in the industry for so long and he's never been awarded or respected on that high ground before. So I think giving him an award for this extremely moving and deep character of Gustav, I would be so happy to see him get that Oscar. So I'm keeping him in there for number one and Sean Penn slowly behind for One Bell After Another, just because that's a little bit more of a showy and dramatic role. That's why I've been going back and forth between them, just because I love Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value. I really do think that is an actor's role. That's what you want. But same with Sean Penn in One Battle After Another. It's just such different performances, whereas Gustav is much more quiet and recluse and vulnerable in a different way. And then we have Sean Penn's Colonel J. Lockjaw is just so over the top, and he has the walk, he has the gait, he has the haircut, like the licks, and everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if he possibly took home a second Oscar for this performance. So I feel like these two are just like battling it out, and it depends on what precursors they take home, and if they kind of like divide it like last year with best actress. I feel like they were definitely kind of like dividing it, and even in 2013's race, I believe, as well, that one was kind of neck and neck as well, and they were getting precursors at different awards. And yeah, so I like to see that happening in the best actors nomination or best supporting actor nomination. So I'll be intrigued to see if Stellan or Sean, takes it home. But we're all talks about Stellan and Sean, and we haven't even mentioned Paul for Hamnet as William Shakespeare. So I feel like maybe he could just take it away from both of these guys, and we can just forget these guys, and we can push him up to the front and give him and just give it to him and Jessie Buckley, let them take it home. Like, imagine that. Imagine if Hamnet ends up being the strongest film at the end of the night. Like I wouldn't doubt if that could possibly happen. Like, I know One Battle After Another is there, but these are incredible roles and an incredible film from Chloe Zhao. So you gotta remember Paul Mescal. So you can't forget about him and his performance. And once again, for One Bell After another possible acting nomination, Benicio del Toro. And I feel like he is garnering more positive praise for his role. Again, with the Academy conversation, he got a lot of positive auditory feedback from the audience, lots of applause. People really do love this role, though small, traditionally supporting role, and they like the levity that he brings to the film and the more peace and like zenness that he has, the oneness that he brings to this revolution. So I really do love Benicio in the film as well. He's been working for such a long time, so be great to see him rewarded for this film. I do think it's a great role. And then I still have Adam Sandler in there at number 5. I've kind of been keeping him there tentatively. I've not seen the film, but he's been getting lots of good reactions. Him and Timothée Chalamet did like a kind of like an actors on actors conversation for, I think it was like a university in New York just the other day. So both of them are really ramping up their campaigns, and with Jay Kelly coming out in just a couple weeks wide on Netflix, I feel like we'll be hearing lots more from Adam Sandler, and I'm excited to see his role. And I've just been keeping him in there because I feel like the other people outside of the top five are good, but they're not as strong as the top five. Like Jonathan Bailey for Wicked for Good, he did get that SAG award or SAG nomination last year, so who knows? He is the sexiest man alive for 2025, so I have him there at number 6. Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein as the creature. People love him in that film, and I feel like the positive reception just keeps growing for Frankenstein since it's gone wide on Netflix. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see him get lots of precursors and maybe even end up in the top 5. I don't know. I feel like he could possibly be 6 over Jonathan Bailey, but we'll see. I have Jacob Jupe at number 8 for Hamnet. I feel like this young performance is just so tremendous, and it's very tear-jerking at several points in the film. So I'd love to see this young actor rewarded for a terrific performance that he delivers that is on par with the adult actors in the film alongside him. So I would love to see Jacob rewarded in maybe some precursors or at the Academy Awards alongside Paul Mescal, maybe in the same category. Who knows? I have William H. Macy there at number 9 for Train Dreams. Similar to Taron Egerton, I feel like if Train Dreams starts picking up some momentum once it hits Netflix, it could be the little film that could, and we could get Taron Egerton and William H. Macy with some acting nominations. I have Andrew Scott for Blue Moon at number 10 to round off my top 10. I've still yet to see Blue Moon, but I've been hearing great things about Andrew Scott in the film. I do love Andrew Scott, and it seems to be kind of a more dynamic role than he gets in Wake Up Dead Man that's coming out at Christmas time. So I definitely think out of the performances of the year, this would be the one that he would be recognized for. I honestly could probably move the Sinners men up over some of these actors that I have higher than them, like Delroy Lindo. I think I could probably move him up, or Miles Caton. People have been saying good things about Billy Crudup, but I'm keeping him there just because I think it's kind of a smaller role. Since Springsteen Delivery Me from Nowhere has fallen off after it came out and got a really negative box office, I have moved Jeremy Strong down. I have Andrew Garfield there at number 15 for After the Hunt. I have Mr. Josh O'Connor for Wake Up Dead Man. I think he would be the only one as a possible nomination, so I have him there at 16. And then the rest of the actors downwards, I feel like they don't have a super strong chance, but they have a movie behind them that does have a strong narrative. Like you can see Sean Bean for Anemone, if that picks up. We have Jack O'Connell for Sinners, which is very strong, but I feel like Delroy and Miles have a stronger narrative behind them than Jack. Bradley Cooper for Is This Thing On? That film hasn't come out yet for everybody to see, so I don't really know where to put him. I haven't been hearing good things about it since it kind of premiered, just kind of middle of the road. So yeah, and everybody else lower than that, honestly, I feel like they're not even super worth mentioning, if I'm being honest. They don't have too much of a narrative except for their film, and I feel like most of them maybe just have like an actress behind them that's stronger. So yeah, top 5, I'm feeling pretty good. I do think Stellan and Sean are a lock for number 1 and 2. It just depends on which one gets what. And I do think Paul Mescal is a lock for top 3 as well. And I'll be interested where the 3 of them are placed throughout the race and who gets what precursors. And we'll see how strong they are towards the Academy Awards in March time. Thank you so much for clicking on my video and giving it a watch today. I always love discussing my awards predictions with all you guys. Again, thanks for understanding that I haven't been posting as frequently as I have been in the last couple weeks, just because of my new job and I'm trying to get a hang on it. And hopefully I can do some like pre-filming for some films when I've been able to watch some of the new releases that have come out, or maybe I can try and do a more pop culture leaning film or another type of like awards film. So always give me suggestions of what you want to see as well, because some ideas can always give me some brainstorming and I can come up with a couple different videos at once, and then I'll have a bit of a schedule to post. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see in the future on my channel down in the comments below. If you enjoy my awards prediction videos and when you keep seeing them happen till March, make sure you hit the subscribe button and post notification button so you don't miss out on whenever I post. I do try and post a couple times a week, but like I said, just with my new job, it's been a little sparingly, but don't forget, I have not forgotten. I will be here. So thanks for hitting the subscribe button and post notification button. And while you're at it, please hit the like button if you enjoyed my video. And like I said, leave a comment down below. What do you think about my nomination predictions? Do I have some that maybe vary from yours? I'd love to hear your top fives for best lead actor, best lead actress, best supporting actor, and best supporting actress. So let me know all about that in the comments and give me some video suggestions as well. And thank you so much for just interacting on my video and subscribing to my channel, as all the engagement really helps to push me out in the algorithm and help to meet other like-minded people like you guys. I love seeing my cinema community grow over the last couple months. So thank you so much. I'm also on other social media platforms like Letterboxd, the Awards Expert app, and TikTok, all at Willow D Steele. So make sure you guys go check me out and give me a follow. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.